have to do any testing, 1, 2, 3?
No, we will.
You've got it, Penny,
Well, we don't have it.
but now we can line it up.
Yep.
The other way.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Mine isn't showing it.
up just a tiny bit.
I get
Too
an
much? Oh, it's
an
not.
e-newsletter
your
from the
camera,
Maine
your phone's gonna be
Connectivity
really
Authority.
behind.
You get that? You see that?
Yep.
This,
we can
this
see
last
you,
one that
and
came
we can
was
see the whole
given the
board.
reasons that Caribou and a couple others didn't.
It's good, I don't
weren't
want to be
awarded the
seen.
grant. It was so disturbing. That one of the main reasons they
I said, I love it,
was
I'm
it
not.
didn't look like they had the capacity to
Okay, so
make
we
the
just,
match.
Yep.
This last one that came. And they had borrowing capacity and they were
Oh,
unknown.
that's on this.
We're on now, going?
Yep, we're on.
You ought to read it. This is make you sick.
My pad's not working.
Mine five.
Hugh and I did a debrief, and
Okay,
that's
no
not what
problem.
they
So I
said.
got mine 8.
Yes.
They had 4 reasons why the ones that didn't get picked didn't.
Can you look and see who has mic 5?
The main reason was this,
I have 3.
didn't think they had the
You 7.
basically the backing to get it done, to make the match.
So is this here?
I mean, how much more would we have to show?
I don't know if this is on 1301. I'll call Dana and see. Okay, thanks a lot for coming in, yeah.
So everything else working now, Penny?
Yeah, you're live.
All right,
I'm gonna
thanks.
call Dana and see if it's working on 1301, but it's definitely working on YouTube.
I don't know what that represents either.
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah, thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks,
Magic
Danielle.
We'll call the March 8th meeting for the Caribou Utilities District to order. First item on our agenda tonight is approval of minutes of the February 8th, 2023 monthly meeting.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Approval of the minutes of the February 16th, 2023 special budget workshop.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous again. Approve the financial and budget report for February 2023. I guess any questions or anything on that from anyone?
I got just a couple of lines I see are already at almost 50%, and I was just wondering if there are any issues.
What line item are you talking about?
Under wastewater, down under collection, 606 truck expense and fuel is at
That's true.
49.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that, for that one, and then on water,
same thing.
yeah, you'll see that.
Yeah. At
So,
fif-
yeah,
at
so we,
51?
yeah, they sent the vac truck out to have the rear end rebuilt,
Okay.
and that was something that we expected.
Maybe it was just 2.
I had probably the same question.
Salaries.
Salary, under treatment plant wastewater, 501, is at 40%.
Oh, yeah, that was, I didn't mark that.
Yeah, and down in 601, we're only at 11%, so is there some allocation there that's off?
I think that's Paul's vacation.
He has been taking some, yes, each week he has. been
Isn't that part of that PTO deal?
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't hear what you said, I'm sorry.
It's part of that paid time off deal that was taken out.
Okay.
I think it was actually last month, was it not, Sue?
Last month, yes,
Yeah.
was the largest, but he'll be taking some each week until he's all through.
Anything else?
Good.
I'll get a motion.
Move to accept the February financials.
And I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Okay.
Discussion and vote on the 2023 projected budget for water and wastewater. I think we've had a lot of discussion on it. We had a meeting on it. I don't know if there's still any questions that anyone has.
I'm good with it.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
I go too fast?
No, I just want to make sure no one has any questions, so if not, all in favor? General manager's report. You.
Okay, I handed everyone a copy of the manager's report. I'll just read down through it, starting with our water projects, the high service area booster pump station upgrade project. On Wednesday, February 22nd, a kickoff meeting was held virtually to start the project. CUD, Deergo Engineering, the Drinking Water Program, and Apex Construction participated. The next steps in the project, Apex to provide material and equipment submittals and project schedules to Deergo and the district to approve so everything can be ordered. By the next meeting, we should have a better understanding of construction start dates and progress milestones throughout the project. The water tank painting project and river crossing project, no change from last month. And we'll probably end up resubmitting those in the fall for next year's funding. 35 York Street, no update on that. The River Road lot, the seller found a different buyer for the property, and Penny informed me yesterday that the property was sold on February 24th. The sell price is not yet available, but the seller never called me to indicate that he wasn't going to sign our option, but he found another buyer. So the district won't be purchasing that property from that particular seller. Yeah. The fiber project, the city council has formed an ad hoc broadband committee. The committee has met twice, and Gary attended the last meeting, which was yesterday morning. The committee is considering many options. If they are interested in building their own project, the district should consider supporting them. I've included a copy of the memorandum of agreement between the Business Investment Group, the Caribou Economic Growth Council, and the city regarding the purchase and design of a dark fiber network by Pioneer Broadband. Is provided for your information. So if you read down through that,
Is that included in the packet?
it's attached to your manager's report.
I didn't get one of those, I guess.
No.
Oh,
I don't know if
Put them
anybody-
up there.
Oh, he came in late.
Memorandum of agreement?
Yeah. Were there any,
You
there's
could have
one right there.
mine, Hugh, if they don't have.
Over here.
did you get one?
Yeah.
I don't have them
Did I go?
They got hung up.
Thank you.
I thought this is something.
I'll wake them up next time. I won't just pass it.
So it really describes how that 159,000 was originated and how John Swanberg structured it so that so the design of the project could be paid for.
So this study is now available to, I guess, the three people that were involved in it. Is it being sent out automatically? It was done by Pioneer, is that correct?
It's done by Pioneer. I'm dropping a check off tomorrow to finish the payment on it
Okay,
and to request a deliverable.
so they will just deliver a copy to each group?
Yeah.
I would take it,
That's the idea.
okay. Okay, anything else you want to, I guess I attended a meeting with the committee yesterday morning, and they are still exploring the alternative options to put in high-speed internet into Caribou and the surrounding area. I guess, Hugh, as you stated here at our last meeting, I mean, the first grant we put in for was turned down. And one of the things that was suggested at the meeting was that if the CUD and Pioneer proposal focused more on the unserved areas and extended out to the surrounding communities, Connor, Fort Fairfield, Limestone, that would reshape the project and possibly make it, and I say possibly because I don't know, but possibly make it much more competitive for the grant funding. And I don't know what your feelings are about that, if it would make it more.
If surrounding communities wanted to participate through the district, we provided a mechanism in our charter amendment to do that. But those communities would really be responsible for going out and getting their own funding to do it.
You couldn't include it in funding for the CUD to do it?
No.
Okay.
Because in theory, that particular community would need to be shovel-ready. You know, they would have to go hire somebody like, you know, Pioneer or some other telecom company to design them a project to come up with a price. And it's possible, you know, any community could, in theory, come to the district right now and join.
Yeah.
But of course, they would have to do a lot of their own legwork to get to that point.
And again, you're talking, I take it, of a fairly long period of time in order to do all that.
Yeah, you know, each community would have to put their own committee together and get themselves educated and either do that themselves or hire somebody. They would need to figure out how many locations in their own town, and it wouldn't necessarily be a short process. I mean, I would think if a community started today, it would take them at least 6 months.
All right. I get the, I was going to ask as well, when the wastewater made the loan for the broadband, is that money in a separate account?
Oh, yes.
Is it just in a checking account?
It's in a money market.
Okay. You know what interest it's?
No, I don't right off, I'm sorry. I know what interest we have to pay, but I can't tell you what it is, Gary.
Do we have any money in CDs or anything right now?
No, we don't. I'm sorry, yes, we do. We have one at the County Federal Credit Union.
Okay. Do we look at that on a regular basis to see if that's worthwhile? I mean, I know it's certainly a lot better than it was 6 months ago, so.
I have checked into those, yes. The last time that the credit union came up for renewal, I have checked, and it was still the best.
Yeah.
And that's about the only account that we could do that with, because the other is all committed.
And the only other loose end that I see in this thing is the money that the hospital was going to give to the CUD for the broadband, the $250,000. I understand that the board decided they weren't going to take it, but I don't know if that was ever voted on. To say we are not accepting the money. And to me, it's still hanging in the air there. And either you should vote to accept it, or you should vote not to accept it. It shouldn't be just a general discussion of, oh, we're not going to take it. From a legal standpoint, from everybody's standpoint, I think it should be official, one way or another, so. I don't know what the rest of you feel, but.
Yeah, I don't think we did actually vote on it, and because it was pulled back, I guess we felt it didn't need to vote on it. It was, the offer was withdrawn, I guess. is
Yeah,
what
I think that's how it was worded. I haven't got the minutes, but I think that's how it was worded.
You, is that your?
Well, go ahead.
I don't think that mic is working, Jan.
Hello? Anyway, Jan Murchison, Caribou. That was discussed at the December 5th meeting. It was a workshop, it was not, was it considered an emergency meeting?
No, it was, but it
But we
was.
did not vote on it.
Yeah, it was not
We
voted on.
we did
Just
state
discussed
that
it.
we didn't want to deal with the controversy, we didn't want to deal with any of that, so we didn't want to deal with that. But we never officially voted on it, and again, the offer was rescinded anyway, so it was a moot point to that point.
Well, the hospital district kind of has the same question, because that was brought up the last meeting, about how to legally,
You, go ahead.
So, the offer still stands unless and until the hospital district board officially votes to remove the offer.
It was never voted on by the hospital district board to rescind the offer.
Okay, yeah, well, that's what I thought.
And it-
The council has no authority. to
Council
do
has
that.
no authority to rescind the votes of the
Right,
district board.
yeah.
They
No,
can
they
oust the
don't.
members, but they have no authority to change the vote.
Yeah, I understand that.
And that's the legal opinion of the city attorney as well.
Yeah.
And of the current, of the Caribou Hospital District Board's attorney at the state level as well. I don't know if they had another meeting, because I didn't see.
On
where
that
it was
basis,
advertised.
I think that this board should either determine that, yes, you want the money, and if legally you're still entitled to it and you want it, then I guess that's what you vote. If you don't want it, you vote that you refuse the offer and are not accepting it. That's my opinion legally, and if nobody seems to know, and that seems to be the thing legally where it stands at, I think it should be settled one way or another. I hate having this stuff hanging over me where something should be done and hasn't been done, and nobody knows where it's at, and so on. So, I mean, I think this board should either make a motion to accept the $250,000 from the hospital board, or to reject the offer and go from there.
I'll make a motion that we will not accept any money from the hospital district.
Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest, Dave, since you serve on both boards?
I would think so.
Well, this is the first board that I've brought it up
I
to.
think it would be, because they certainly called it a conflict of interest on my part.
Okay?
I'll make that motion then. There.
We have a seconder?
I would say if the district accepted the money and we got it, we could build the telecom hub on Sincock Street and get the project started. It would essentially provide a foothold to start it.
I don't care for all the controversy around it, but I do believe the money was integral part of getting the project off the ground. In that respect, I would vote to accept it.
Okay. Jay?
I would agree with Dave. I think
So,
it makes sense for us to accept it.
well, we have a motion that doesn't have a seconder.
Well, I'll second it and you can call the lawyer.
All right, we will vote on the motion to not accept the $250,000 from the hospital board and advise them accordingly. All those in favor? Opposed? 3-2. We're not accepting the $250,000. Anything else on broadband?
Nope.
Anything else from the board that they want to discuss?
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Bill?
I wanted to go back to something, but now, oh, shoot. I forgot.
Dave? Anything?
Actually, I did, the River Road the River Road property, I thought we had a purchase and sale agreement in place.
So I had sent that gentleman an option agreement, and he never signed it.
Oh, we never signed it, okay.
That woke me up. If somebody else purchased that, is that property still protected through, okay. All right, thank you.
And the, what, so that property falls into two, Penny, jump in if I don't get this right, two overlay districts.
Yeah.
A sand and gravel and a watershed overlay district. So whoever purchased it, as long as the district enforces those overlay districts, they will not be able to remove gravel from that property.
Is it the district that enforces it, or is it the city's code enforcement?
Technically, I think it should be code enforcement. Am I?
It's part of the ordinance.
It's part of the, yeah.
Then I got a waste issue. Not that it's a real problem right now, but disposal of sludge. We don't have to worry about that for quite a while, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So, to address that, Phil, I don't think we could have a big project like we just finished, but I think we're gonna have ongoing, regular disposal, aren't we, to avoid doing that in the future?
Yeah, so the idea is we develop a schedule for each pond, and say in the summertime, drop the water level of an individual pond, any particular pond, bypass it, take it out of service, and then say use our vac truck, or say hire Chris Allen with their vac truck, and basically vacuum out the existing sludge in that particular pond, and then we've got drying beds that we can just dump that into and let it dry out. And at some point in time, when that material fills up in those drying beds, we would just haul it off to the landfill. But that will take many, many years. But to Dave's point, we don't wait.
I recall that part too, yeah.
Right, we don't wait 35 years and then have this massive.
Jen.
Dave, excuse me, Phil, are you confusing the parcel of land we own on Grimes Road that we originally bought for sludge disposal?
No.
Okay,
It's just
so with land on the River
that's
Road?
come to the surface lately as far as people disposing of it, where they're gonna dispose of it, and so on and so forth. So, just like PFAS, that still sticks in my brain.
Yeah,
So-
it's a big issue downstate, or disposal of sludge now from wastewater plants.
Yeah. Now, those drying beds, at some point when we do want to dispose of that, we may have to test that for PFAS content, and maybe a consideration in getting rid of it at that point. But we've at least got a mechanism in place now to make sure it doesn't accumulate.
No one has anything else here?
I'm done now, thank you.
The only other thing I have, and I'll put it in the motion, and decide what you want to do, but I'll make a motion that all equipment purchased exceeding $5,000 will be presented to the board, CUD board, for approval.
Second?
All those in favor?
Well, I think we should have a dis-
$5,000.
I
And I'm
think-
talking equipment, I'm not talking the projects we're doing that we discuss all the time. I'm talking if they want to buy equipment.
Would that include everyday supplies and that kind of thing, if they buy in bulk?
Well, I say $5,000, so I'm not talking about, you might use $5,000 worth of paper in the year, but you're only buying so much each time. I'm talking
Incremental.
about vehicles
Yeah,
or a lift truck or whatever.
yeah, I think we
If you
discussed,
have a VFD blow-up, it's 15 grand.
I'm sorry?
If you have a VFD blow-up in one of the pump stations, it's 15 grand.
Yeah, I'm not talking about a pump. I'm talking about the things we use to run down there. if he wants to buy a new truck, or if he wants to
Equipment.
buy a lift truck, or, you know, that's the kind of equipment I'm talking about. I would think something like the pump, if, you know, if you're gonna need a pump, I would hope that he would at least tell us about that at a meeting and say, we're gonna have to buy a new pump. We don't have to vote on that, because obviously we need that pump. But when it comes to other equipment, I think it should be brought to the board and approved by the board.
Yeah, I don't disagree with your philosophy. I think your threshold's a little low, though, you know, for, in today's world, so.
And I agree. I just don't want to get into every meeting discussing the buying of a pickup. I would almost like to see kind of a capital improvement plan.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that will be part of the budget next
Yeah,
year.
and I
The
do.
equipment should be in that plan.
But I don't want to get into, and I think you said it, but I want to reiterate it, I don't want to get into, we need to buy 5 meters. I have no idea what a meter costs. I don't care. That's Hugh's, he
Yeah,
needs to
and
know how to
again,
do it, but.
I'm not talking about the things that are going out to the customers, and that. I'm talking about equipment that we use as the Caribou Utilities District.
So I agree with Dave. I think then if that's truly the case, 5,000 is probably pretty low. And that number ought to be higher.
What should it be?
My top of the head would be 10, but
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I don't think you could buy a pickup truck for 10. I don't know if I'd want to buy a pickup truck for 10.
I don't have any problem with that.
I'll amend. 10,000?
I'll amend the motion to be not exceeding $10,000.
I'll amend the second to agree.
All those in favor? All right. Nothing else? We'll adjourn the meeting.
move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Microphone's off.
Thank you very much, Penny, for all your work.
Thanks for nothing, Ian. I mean, technology's not even working right. but
Penny.
You're welcome.
Dave Martin has the answer here.
What's that?
Dave Martin has the answer.
What's the answer?
Bring a 12-year-old in here.
Agree.
11, well, we'll cover it.
Or is that after you're done with the 16 and 14?